Hello everyone, I'm Pierre, product owner of the app's website and e-commerce at Odoo. And today I'm super excited because I get to show you all the new features the website team has been working on for over a year. So what's the program today? First, I will show you the biggest change we've made. We've managed to move the website editor into the Odoo backend. Secondly, I will show you other features we want to highlight, 8 of them. And then finally, we'll have a Q&A session. So first, website in backend. Why and what does it mean? So why? It's because in the past, when you were using the Odoo editor, and if you wanted to change a setting or see something in the backend like a product or a quotation, you had to go back to the app switcher, wait a long time, and then find your find the view you wanted to see, and then find the button to go back to the website, and then go back to website. And all of this was very slow. The reason was our website editor was in another environment as all the rest of Odoo, the backend. Now, we've managed to put the website in an iframe so that when you're logged in and you have the correct rights, you can see the website inside Odoo backend. And so you stay in Odoo backend. It goes very fast when you move from a quotation or from a product page to the website. There are other advantages with this new feature. The menu are always the same, so it's more consistent, it's very much more harmonized in my opinion. You can change the settings on whatever page you are. Another very cool new feature is that we managed to get rid of the customized menu. So if you remember, for the ones you know, the customized menu was a bit hidden and was a lot of switch to enable features, and it was not very clear what it was doing. We managed to put all of those features into the website editor right panel. So on your right, you will see on the page which options are available, and it should be pretty straightforward to enable them and disable them. So let me show you how it looks like on Odoo. So here I'm on Odoo 16. I am in the app switcher, and if I click on website, it opens my website. And you can see here I have a menu, standard Odoo menu, with a lot of views because I have many apps installed. And it goes very fast, right? So I can go, for example, to my quotations, my orders, and I can go back to my home page. Pretty cool, right? So we're super happy. Let me show you all the features that were added with this new change. First, we have new menu items. Here, on the contents, we list all the content that will bring pages to your website. So of course, bring page to your website. Those are the static page, the one you can create yourself. Then we have the products, for example. And you can switch between Kanban or list view. And you can see here the list of all the products that are in your website. Something very cool is now you can use the multi-edit to publish or unpublish several of them. Let me show you. So for example, I will select this one, and I want all of them to be maybe unpublished. A bit strange because some of them were already unpublished. Let me show you again. So let me publish them. So I select, I publish, and boom, all of them are published. So that's one change. Another change that we've done is the options that I was explaining you earlier. So if you remember, in the past you had this customize. Now it's in the right panel. Let me show you what it looks like. Here, customize, and you can see all the options of the page. And you can change. For example, maybe you don't really like this bar, the category bar here on top. So you can just get rid of it by unclicking top. And voila, you can see the page was saved and reloaded very fast, and the bar was removed. So here, I hope I demonstrate to you that now for the website editor, it's very fast to move between backend and frontend. Something else I forgot to show you is how you can actually move from Odoo backend to the frontend that the visitor will see. It's actually in the URL. You see here you have a little arrow bars. If you remove it, you will arrive to the real website, the front end, so what your visitor will see. Because I'm logged in as an admin, I have this little arrow. So the little arrow, people that are not logged in will not see it. And I actually can go back to my app switcher or to the editor. So if I go to the editor here, I'm arriving on the Odoo app, still in my website. Doesn't change much. For your information, if you share this link with someone that is not connected, so let's go here, I still have the arrow bars. However, when I click enter, because I'm not logged in, I don't have the rights to go to the backend. I'm redirected directly to the front end part of the website. So this is a big new feature, and we hope you will like to use our editor with this big change, the user interface change. So now, let me show you the other features that we want to highlight. First, I'll do a list of them, so you have an idea what's coming up, and then we'll go into demonstration one at a time. So mobile edition, we allow you now to choose to edit while in mobile view. Thanks to the website in backend, we could do that pretty easily. And secondly, we allow you to decide which section should be visible on which device. Is it for mobile, is it for computer, desktop, or is it for both? The next feature will be we added some new layouts for product snippet. So you know the building blocks that has a carousel of your products, you can choose the template between very nice proposition. The next feature will be the new shapes we add that are like kind of device frame. So if you have a picture, you can have a frame of a computer, of an iPhone, of a browser in just a few clicks, and so your website suddenly looks more professional. Then the next feature I will demonstrate to you is the animation on scroll. So you can animate sections, image, text of your website, not only on when they appear on the screen, like we had before, but also based on the scroll position of your visitor. The fifth feature I'm going to show to you is the grid layout. It's a big change as well. So in each section, you will now be able to decide if you want to organize this section with columns, which so far it was the only option we had, or with the grid, so you can move your object around. Then I will show you the new analytics we've implemented. Which is based on the tool plausible.io. Then I will show you a new settings we added so you can choose which home page you want. And finally, I will show you and demonstrate to you the improvements we've made on the cookie bar so that your visitor can decide if they want to have all the cookies on their device or only the essentials ones. Let's jump into it. So mobile edition. So imagine that you're an e-commerce. For this example, I will be a furniture store, and that you want to do a promotion 2 plus 1 free, right? And then you want to advertise this discount. Maybe on desktop you have a larger screen, a wider screen, so you can put a lot of information. But on mobile, you want something very short, very efficient. So you might need two different blocks. One block that is only visible for desktop visitors, and one block that is only visible for mobile users. Let me show you how you can do that. So I go back here. I'm logged out, it seems. Yeah, I'm still in incognito mode. That's normal. Okay, let's go back here. I'm logged in. So first, if I want to do 2 plus 1 free, I can create the discount. It's very easy to do now that the website is in backend, because I can directly see backend it items here. For the discount, we've implemented new placeholders, so you can choose which type of discount you want to do with the nice icons and text. So I want to do 2 plus 1 free. So at the moment, the product that the customer needs to buy and receives is a whiteboard pen. Let me change that. I'm a furniture store, not an appliance store. So I will do office chair black, this one. And the reward also, when you buy 2 office chair black, you receive 1 for free. So I've configured my discount. Now, I want to promote it. I want user to actually buy at least 2 office chairs, so they get 1 free. I will add a title here. and I will say, if you buy 2 office chair black, we'll give you 1 for free. Okay, let's remove all of this and do like this and add a button. So to add a button, one way to do it is to use the /, the magical command function. So I will say here, the link label will be go to products, and the URL will be my office black chair, right? So I will look for it here, and I save. My button disappeared. What's happened? Maybe I failed saving. Let's try again. So go to products and office black chair. Voila, it's there. So that's pretty cool, pretty easy. Let's see how it looks on mobile. Look how I can change to mobile while editing very easily. And as expected, it doesn't look like as good on mobile because the screen is too narrow. So what I will do, I will say, okay, you know what? This block should be hidden when the device is a mobile here. And now what I will also do is add another block to still describe the discount that's going on, right? So 2 + 1 free on our black chairs. No, on our chair. I want to keep it very, very simple. Seems there is some space here. Let me remove them. Voila. And here again, I add the button and I say products and I say office black chair. Let me find it here and I save. I love this block. Let me go back to the desktop now. What do we see? They have the 2 in a row. It doesn't make sense. What I will say is this block here should be hidden on desktop. By the way, once you've done that, it will appear in the invisible elements, right? So if I click here, I will see it again, and I will see that thanks to this icon, I can clearly see that it will not be visible for desktop visitors. And of course, we have something similar on mobile, but it's the other one. Okay. So I've showed you that if you want to have one kind of information maybe different from mobile or desktop, you can easily do that now. And you can easily navigate between desktop and mobile view with the new, this new feature. So next feature. Imagine me again as the furniture store. I want to have a carousel with some of my products on my homepage, right? Something that many, many websites have. In Odoo, you could already do that. The problem is that you didn't have much choice with the layouts, and some of them were not looking that great. Let me show you the improvements we've made. So I go back to my website here. I click on Edit, and I look for Product Dynamic Content here. I drop it here, wait a little bit. First, rather, what I would like is to show my furnitures, right? So I'm selling furnitures, and I have some other products, of course, because I'm doing some side business, but I don't want to advertise them on the homepage. So let's do a filter, not filter, sorry, category. I mean, add a filter, but based on category, and let's select furnitures. Okay, pretty cool. Secondly, I don't like when a carousel moves like this on a homepage, so I will change the slider speed to a lot of seconds. So now, what's new? The new features appears when you click on templates here. What we've done, instead of just having text that describe the templates, we've used thumbnails. So it's much clearer for you what they do. And we've added many new layouts. For example, this one, which is single row. Maybe this one, which has 4 cards. The same one with 4 cards, but with the image in background. Sorry, I'm not on the right. Up, I need to scroll down here. This one, for example. So you can see you have a lot more options. The one I prefer for this kind of business needs will be this one, right? So I show the products, the image, I show the name, the label. I don't need to show the price because it's B2B and I don't want to maybe frighten my customers. So let me save. So here I've showed you the new layouts we added to product building block. I ask you to be a bit more patient because we will also add new layouts for or other dynamic building blocks such as events, blog posts, etc. They use the same kind of technical logic, so it will be easy to implement. So the next feature is the device shapes. Okay. So here, imagine that you have received from a technical colleague a video that explains to your customer how they need to add products to their cart. Something very basic, but let's imagine that's the case, right? So you put that video in a building block. However, it lacks of something maybe. It lacks a frame. Now, with this new feature, you can actually, in just a one click, you can put this image inside a device shape. So it looks like actually someone is doing that on a computer or on a phone. Let me show that to you. So I go here, I add a new text image. And what I will do, replace my image with the video I received. I say video, actually it's a .gif item, right? So you can see it's animated. I will increase the size a little bit because nobody can read that. So I decrease here and I increase there. Up. Maybe I remove the padding here. Voila. I can change the content width to wider. Okay. So now people can see the video. They can understand how they can add products to their cart. They can also understand how they will receive a free product. I was not lying. But it doesn't look as cool as it could be. So let me click on the image. Go to the image option, shapes. You already had quite cool options. But the new one I want to show you today are the device. So you can imagine, I could make it look like someone is looking into his phone, or a tablet, or computer, or browser. Maybe let me use the iPhone. Yeah, it looks quite cool. And done. Now, in just a few clicks, I've changed this GIF from just being like that into an iPhone, which is pretty cool. So voila. So we added new shapes or device that are look like device frame. So it's very easy for you to put your image inside device. Animation on scroll. So now imagine that someone looks at your website and say, you know what, it's a bit boring, nothing happens. It doesn't look very modern. An easy way to change that is to add animations. So we already had animations in the past, but they were triggered when the section was appearing on the screen. Now, what we changed is that you can choose if the trigger should be that or if the trigger should be based on the scroll position, which I prefer a lot. And let me show you how it looks today. So let's look at this, for example, this section, right, with the 3 columns. If I go on edit and I select this first column, there I have an animation option. Now, when I enable it, I can choose if it should be on appearance or on scroll. If I select on scroll, I have a lot of options. Should it be when the visitor is arrive on this section or leaves this section? And then what effect should it be? So here I will select slate. The direction I want from left, the intensity, and the scroll zone. So I do this one, scroll from left, and this item I will say scroll from right. On scroll from right. Slide from right. Let's save. Let's see how it looks like. And you can see here, you can see here I've done the option on the entire column, and here I've done it just on the image. I didn't do it on purpose, but it's quite interesting to show you what are the possibilities. Another kind of animation you might want to do is to, for example, have this icon moving. I will just do it on the first one to give you an example. But I select the icon, I go on the animation, and I will have turning around. So I will have it rotating in place. So if I save now, while I move around, you will see that the cog is rotating. Doesn't add much in this case, but it gives you an idea what are the possibilities, right? And you can see how fluid it is. So animation on scroll, I didn't have a lot of creativity here, but you can imagine that you will be able to do a lot of things with this. So let's do a quick wrap up of the 4 features I just showed it to you. First, I explained that now you can actually edit your website while being in mobile view. And also, for each block, you can decide if they should be only visible on mobile or only visible on desktop. Secondly, I've showed you the new layouts we've added for the product snippet. And I've promised you that we will also add new layouts in the upcoming versions for the other dynamic snippets, such as event, blog, etc. Then I've showed you how you can easily add a shape that is look like a device frame on any image or animated image in this demonstration. And then finally, I've showed you how you can add animations that are now based on the scrolling position of your visitor. So a next feature, it's also a very cool one that we've done, is the grid layout. So the grid layout, it's very useful when you have a section and you want to have multiple image and text, and maybe some text should be between 2 columns and stuff like that. So you're a bit blocked with the columns layout. Let me show you what you can do. So let's add a new section here. Okay. Let me remove this. So you have this one. So how can you enable grid mode? You can enable grid mode with 2 ways. First, you can drag and drop an item, and you will see here, there should be a grid coming up. Actually, the grid is not visible because the layout is black. Let me change the background here. Okay, now we will see the grid. Voila, perfect, the grid is black. Maybe something we can improve before we release V16. So once you've enabled, another way to enable grid mode is to go on the section option, and the first one will be layout. So you can choose between column, as we had before, or you can choose grid. So if you choose grid, you can then resize your image very easily. You can move them around, and you can also add new elements. So you can add image, I can have multiple of them, and you will see they just appear on top of each other, right? Well, of course, up, and you can add also text, for example. You can have a text here that says, look at those cute cats. You can have this text. I will put it here. For now, I will make it bigger by going on the here, and I will resize so that it looks in one line. And you can see I can put it on top of pictures. So how does it look like on mobile? On mobile, what we've decided to do is to put all the elements following each other, right? So they follow each other. And what you can do, if you want to customize this, you can move the position. So for example, I can take this one and I can say, you know what? It should be before this one, before and before here. And when I go back to the desktop version, you will see that nothing has changed. So there is no link between the mobile version and the desktop version. I mean, not that there is no link, but with the change you made, the reordering doesn't impact how the desktop version look like. Something else you can do is to decide which one should be on top or which one should be above, right? So that's very useful, of course, with this new feature. And let me save. So the grid layout is a very cool new feature because once you enable it, it's super easy to customize how images should be organized between them. And not only image, text, and buttons as well. So the next feature is the analytics. So if you wanted to have good analytics in the past, probably you would have connected to your Google Analytics account. Google Analytics is a bit less sexy than before because it's considered as not respecting the data privacy of your visitors, right? You may have heard that. So what we decided to do is to install by default, not install, but to offer plausible.io as analytics for all our SaaS users. So when you go on website, you will have your analytics dashboard. I will show them to you in a minute. That will work just from scratch. And Plausible has the big advantage to not collect any data on the visitors on their server, right? So it's completely GDPR friendly. For non-SaaS users, you could connect to your Plausible account very easily in the settings. So let me show here. I'm went to reporting, analytics, and here you see some cool dashboards up with all your analytics. Of course, it's a demo environment, so I haven't had many visitors. Actually, I had 2, but you can. It's enough to show you. You can filter them by device, by browser. If you click on one, it actually filters the other cards, and you can see here the filters you've applied, so you can change them. And you have as well on the locations, the country. So it was both of the visitors were in Belgium. That's not a surprise, etc., etc. So we were super happy because we have something now that works out of the box for our SaaS users, and it's very powerful and super easy to use. Last one. Imagine now that at my furniture e-commerce, or maybe the manager is not very happy with my homepage, despite all my efforts, maybe because of the cats I've added recently. And he says, you know what, let's go straight to the point and let's make that the homepage is the shop. So in the past, this was not possible. With Odoo, you had to have a static page as a homepage. Now, with the new setting, not only it's super easy to change the homepage, but also you can choose any page you want. Let me show it. So I go to configuration, settings. I always love now how I can navigate between the website and the settings so easily. And I change the homepage URL to be /shop. I save. And now, if I go back to my website homepage, where will I land? On the shop. So now, actually, both two, I will probably need to edit my menu because this doesn't make a lot of sense anymore. Et voilà. So now my manager is happy and we just directly go to the shop. Okay, last feature I'm going to demonstrate today is our new cookie bar. So we had a cookie bar in the past, but the idea of this cookie bar was to tell the customers that we were not storing any non-essential cookies on their device. We've had many requests from our customers, to be able to actually let the visitors decide if they want to store the non-essentials or the essential if they wanted to keep the non-essential cookies on their device. So what are non-essential cookies? Probably in most cases, they are the cookies linked to the Google trackers that you use. So we heard you and we decided to implement it. Let me show you how it looks like. So here, if you go in configuration, in settings, I will enable the same settings as we had before in privacy section, which is the cookie bar. Once it's enabled, there will be 2 changes on the website. First, no kidding, there is a cookie bar, and you can edit it. So right at the moment, so if we go to the editor, first you have to make it appear. We hide those kind of elements because otherwise you will not be able to edit your website, but you can see them there and make them appear again. So I go here, and I can choose the layout. If it's discrete, small, very, very discrete, classic, or pop-up. I like the classic way. So that's the first thing that happens. And you will see that the visitors has 2 options, to allow all cookies or to allow only essential one. The other new option, the other change that we do to your website once you enable the setting is to add the cookie policy page. And so this page will list to you all the cookies that are essentials and why they are essentials. So you will see that most cookies from Odoo actually are essentials. And then we also list the non-essential cookie, right? The optional. For example, we've added here the Google Analytics. I invite you to update this page based on what you've done with your website. And then if the user says, I only want to allow essential cookies, all those cookies, if they exist on your database, will be removed from the visitor device. So here, I hope that this new change is the request you were hoping for from Odoo. So let's do a wrap-up of the last 4 features I've just shown. First, the grid layout. So you can enable it on each of your website section so that you can then resize objects and move them around very easily in a grid instead of in columns. On mobile, they will be on top of each other, and you can decide what is the order. The next feature I've showed you was the analytics. So our new analytics, which is using the plausible motor, and that is very easy. That is configured by default for SaaS users and very easy to configure for non-SaaS users. Then I've showed you how you can now change your homepage directly in the settings very easily and put any page you want, including dynamic content like shop. And finally, I've showed you our new cookie bar, which is letting the visitor to choose between essential or non-essential, to choose to keep or not keep non-essential cookies on their device. So thanks a lot for listening to me. I hope you will now really want to use the new Odoo website editor. And please stay connected if you want to be part of the Q&A session.
Okay, cool. I'm happy that you guys listened.
Yeah, thank you very much. The cookie bar is very nice. Great that you have it in Odoo now. How do you set the non-essential cookies in Odoo?
So if you add more scripts, you mean like marketing scripts, and then you want also them to be removed. I think that will probably require a bit of customization, but it should be very easy to do. But so you can come to our booth later on, and then we can show you how we can do that with a developer. Or you can also go to the developer at the back of the room, the one standing up. So they are the guys that did all the work, and they can also explain you how you can do this.
I'm working in the medical field, and I miss a really essential part of the shop in Odoo. That means the catalog number. So when we sell something, we need catalog number, name, size, and the price. Maybe a description, but the catalog number is essential. So I see it's still not there in Odoo 16, but...
Yes, so if I understand you correctly, is that in front of the product name, you would want the internal reference? I mean, like a product catalog ID, right? So your reference ID?
Right, the reference of the product.
No, so two things. First, my colleague Chloe is going to demonstrate you what we've worked on for e-commerce in the next talk. No worries. I mean, website and e-commerce are very linked to another. But no, at the moment, I don't think we worked on that, to be honest with you. I think you could mix, but it should be very easy to customize the view of the product view to say, you know what, instead of just product name, also show the internal reference, which probably is the field you would be using. So we can talk about that later in the booth. I think that it's almost no customization. That's something, the customization that you can just do like that in Odoo without purchasing a service or whatever. You would still be in the standard Odoo that Fabien described, right? Not the customized one. So I think we can find a solution for your problem.
So merging catalog number and the name.
I think it should be fine. But let's look later at the booth so I can show it to you.
Thank you.
Hi, I've been using Odoo website since version 10, so this is my 7th version, and I see a lot of cool improvements, and I'm very grateful for them. But I came up with like 6 questions, and I will not ask all of them now, and I will visit you later.
Maybe try to select the one that will...
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can always ask the 6 of them to me later on.
I will, definitely.
Okay.
But the most painful one, because we've been solving it with almost every client who is using a multilingual website, is about the translation of the URLs of the pages.
Okay.
Because how it worked until version 15 is that you have the URLs in the language of the main website, and you cannot translate it. And for example, in English, you would have about us, and then in French, you would have /fr/about us, which is not really user-friendly nor SEO-friendly. And I know we've been customizing this a lot, so this is a feature that almost everyone needs. Is this something which is already solved in version 16 or not yet?
So to be honest, no, it's not solved. There was a bit of technical change that happened in Odoo backend. They refactored the way we translate objects in Odoo at the end of a few weeks ago. It was few weeks ago. So no, we haven't done any improvements on translation for Odoo 16, but because of this new change, we have the opportunity to improve our translations. Not specifically URL, but we know that we have to work on the URL as well. It's not the first time I hear this feedback. Something that we definitely want to work on and should be easy with the new refactoring is also the fact that you might even have different kind of page depending on the language. So at the moment, if you change, you do your page in the main language, let's say English. Then you add a second language, let's say French. If you do all the translation in French, if you change then something in the text, you correct a typo in the English, all the block is then considered as not translated in French anymore. So what we will do in the future is say, okay, if you change something in English, then you can decide if it should be, if you want to actually impact the other translation language or not. And you can say, no, I don't want to change, so that you only change the something on you. So that's not really your questions, but it's to show you that we should, and I really hope that we will spend time on the translations for the next versions. As usual with Odoo, we cannot promise anything because we never know what technical difficulties we might encounter. but definitely it will be on the roadmap of something we want to do.
If you need any help, we can help you with that.
Thank
We
you.
already customized that.
Okay.
And one quick question, because usually Odoo keeps adding new features, which are very cool, but since version 10, you actually erased one feature, which was A/B testing of the website, which was very useful.
Which one, sorry?
A/B testing of the pages on the
okay.
website. It was in version 10, not later. And I was just curious whether you are thinking of adding it again, because it can be really, really useful for marketers.
To be honest, I know what A/B testing is. It's the first time I hear feedback about A/B testing. I had no idea it was there before. I joined Odoo 2 years ago. I need to ask. Probably if we removed it, it was for a good reason. Either it was not working well, or maybe it was too much consuming something. Maybe it was not helping for the SEO. I have no idea. At the moment, I'm not sure it's in. Because it's the first time I hear this feedback. I don't know if many people want it. So probably what we'll do, I will talk with some people that are from the marketing team that are experts, and let's see if we should do something about this. Maybe.
Thank you so much for your answers.
No worries.
Hello.
Hello.
If I build a website to a customer, I will do it on Collaudo. Do you understand Collaudo? It's a test branch.
Okay.
How to migrate it on production branch?
So if I understand you correctly, you have like one database where you test and then you demonstrate to your customers, and then you want to move it to production afterwards?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's, at the moment, what you can do is then, probably create a website and unpublish it, and then publish it at the last moment and redirects from the old to the new one or something like that, or change the URLs. But it's true that at the moment, we have no easy solution to export a website from a database and import it to another database. But it's something that we probably will try to work on as well. So I cannot, as I said before, I cannot promise stuff for the future, but it's something we would like to do. Because also, just for your information, at Odoo, you will learn that more a bit later, because they will be doing some talks, but we have now a team of web builders. So if you need a website and you want some design to be done and you don't want to do it yourself, there is a team that will do that for you here. So we have web designers that use our web editor, obviously. They can also do a bit of CSS if you need some adjustments. And so, of course, those guys, they would like to be able to do that, import websites and this kind of stuff. So in the next version of Odoo, probably we'll do some work to facilitate their life as well. So in the last few versions, our roadmap, our objective was to facilitate the onboarding of people that had almost no knowledge. They would start building a new website, right? So that's why the website builder, in my opinion, is very easy to use. Now that we think we have something that is working quite well, well integrated, etc., the next step we can do is to also facilitate the life of web designers, partners, that will do a website in a test environment, or try to build a theme and then try to use it in several databases. So this is something that we know we have to focus on for the next versions.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Is there any other question?
Yes. Thanks. Firstly, thanks for your interesting presentation. Okay. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, and I see you now. Thank you.
Okay, good. At the beginning, very thanks. And I have a question related to the old versions.
Yes.
So if I have a client on Odoo 13 and I really want to migrate to Odoo 16,
yes.
Is it possible? Knowing that now we are using OWL for JavaScript, and we have a lot of customization in the website. So is it possible or not?
So yes.
Thanks.
So to my knowledge, yes. What could happen when you migrate to the new versions is that you could have some building blocks that will be marked as outdated. So when you try to edit them, they might not be more compatible anymore with the new versions. Maybe because you customized it or you did something that, I don't know. So it could be that, in my experience, the worst case scenario is that you have some building blocks that are outdated, and so you need to replace them if you want to edit them. But normally it should be fine. And if your customers have paid for maintenance or on SaaS users, then of course the upgrade if there is an issue during upgrade, we will look at it and fix it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Any more questions? I don't know what time is it. Chloe, is it your time? You don't know? Yeah. We have 2-3 more minutes, so if you have more questions, now is a good time. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello?
Thank you for your presentation. I have one question about the cookie bar.
Yes.
Is there any way to allow our customers to select which optional cookies they want to set? So
that the visitor can decide, you know what, I will choose this optional, but not this optional?
Exactly.
No, we didn't do that. Do you think that people would do that? Do you think, because I've seen that on many websites where they say you can choose the cookies, but actually, I think that at the end of the day, I would imagine, maybe I'm wrong, that most people would click on, you know what, I want to reject all or accept all. But what would be the good business flow where you would say, you know what, I will allow Google because I like Google, but I will reject, I don't know, another marketing tool because I don't want them?
I think most users would in fact accept all or reject all, but more frequent users of your website may want to choose. So especially if people are wary of Google, for example, getting your data or saving your interactions, but maybe they want to make use of your advised products, for example. This is also optional, and
okay.
I can see why I would like to have it.
Okay, so yeah, so to be honest with you, here we made a choice of simplification, and I've seen some websites like Facebook and Netflix, I think, do the same, so you cannot choose. And I think, I hope that for most of the cases it should be enough. I think that the vast majority of people, they either want to accept all cookies because they don't care and they just want the pop-up to be gone, or they want to reject because they are a bit scared of what happens with their data. So that's the way we went for. So if you want to do something like a multi-selection, probably you will have to do some customization, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you.
So maybe we have time. No, one more question, one last question if someone wants. No? Okay, that's perfect. Good time. Thanks a lot. So don't hesitate if you want to talk to me. I would be more than happy to exchange with you on Odoo website.